Hello, YouTube family. This is Nia, and I am here today to talk about au pair or nanny, live in au pair, live in nanny, in another country. Okay. First of all, do you love kids? Do you enjoy playing with kids? Have you thought about doing this, and you just don't know where to start? Today, I'm going to talk about being a nanny in a different country. Okay, if you're originally from another country and you want to be a live-in au pair, live-in nanny in another country, then stay tuned. First of all, if you can, please subscribe to the channel. Okay, support your girl here. All right, so we are going to get started. Number one, do you have a passport? The number one thing that you will need to go to any other country is a passport. Right now, a lot of countries require that you have a passport to travel back and forth, especially if you're from Africa and you're trying to go to another country, say Canada, Europe, Russia, wherever you're trying to go, you have to have an international passport. Do you have one? That's a key, number one thing. All right. Then number two, once you get that passport, you have to decide what country do you want to go to. All right, you have to know where you're going. All right, make up your mind. There are a lot of countries that you can go to, but you have to know where you want to go, and you have to make up your mind on where you want to go. Not all countries are easy to get to. It is a long process for the most part, so you have to start early. Start early, and you have to know when you're looking for a passport, depending on what country you're coming from. Sometimes it takes forever to get a passport, 3 months. Sometimes it's right away. But once you get it, what country do you want to go to? Do your research, find out the rules for every country because different countries have different rules on how to get in as an au pair. As an au pair, you are an employee to somebody. And to come in as an employee, there are so many rules that have to be followed. Okay. So go to the embassy. I would suggest you directly go to whatever embassy you want to go to. I went to Canada from Africa. I went to Canada to be a live-in au pair, and I went straight to the embassy and asked questions. They are more than willing to help you. So don't be afraid, just go in there and ask your questions and find out what they need. If you're gonna go in as an au pair or as a nanny, what do they need? What are their requirements? Be prepared because once you get everything that you need, it is so much easier to get the visa. Okay, so you have to know the visa requirements for the country that you're going to. You have to know how much fee they're going to charge you for the visa if you're paying for the visa for yourself. Now, there are a lot of other countries where the host family will pay for the visa, and then you can negotiate if that's going to come out of your pay, out of your wages, or if they're just willing to pay for you. If they need you desperately, then they will offer to help pay for the visa. Now, a lot of times the visa fee is, I want to say, up to $300 for the most part. I paid roughly about 300 Canadian dollars to get their visa. And then also depending on what country you're going to, you may or may not need a driver's license. Okay, some countries will need you to get a driver's license. Other countries will say no, you don't need it. Some will accept international driver's license if you're lucky enough to have one. I didn't have one. Lucky for me, I was not required to have one. And so I was in Canada for about 2 years as a living nanny, a living au pair, if you want to call it. Now, the website I used, it was aupair.com. So that's where you can go to aupair.com or any other au pair websites. Do your research first. I'm not endorsing aupair.com. They probably don't even remember anything about me, but that's one of the websites that I actually used, and that's where I found my host family. That's how you look for a host family. If you don't know where to start, uh, Google is your friend. Look for au pair jobs, live in au pair jobs, preferably, especially if you're coming from another country. You want a live-in, because if you don't know anything about the country you're going to, you don't have, friends. When you first coming in, you really don't have friends, and you probably, if you are like me, I didn't have relatives, I didn't have friends. I was, the only people I knew was a host family. Okay, so um, you want to get someone that's going to give you a place to stay if you're coming in for the first time, and if you really don't know anything about the country too much, then you want to have somewhere to stay. Okay, so once you get your job with a host family, or you go to a website, and the other thing too I have to remind you is, when you go to this website, please, please, please be careful, because there are some scammers out there. Some people act like they're host family and they're really not, and they will be trying to, get your little money, because just as much as you're trying to get some money, they are trying to get some money too. So there are some scammers out there that will ask you to send them money using Western Union. Please don't do that. Don't send anybody cash money. And a lot of the good websites will tell you, Aupair.com will tell you, do not send anybody money. Don't, if they claim to be a host family and say, oh, send us some money and then we'll pay half of your visa. No, don't send anybody money. The money goes directly to the embassy. The visa money goes directly to the embassy. And if the host family is paying for the visa, they will pay it to the embassy, and they will not ask you for any money. You can negotiate if they're gonna give, if you're gonna pay the money back over time once you get there, or if they're just willing to pay for your visa. But please do not send anybody money, any cash money or anything. Even if they tell you they're the host family, please don't send anybody money. Okay, those are scammers. There are a lot of scammers out there. And then when you get the host family, you want to know how many children are you expected to take care of. Are they boys? Are they girls? What age are they? Do they go to school or they stay home? Full time. So you have to know what you're getting into. You have to know your job descriptions. What do they expect? What do they expect you to do? A lot of host families will not expect you to do too much other than take care of the kids while they go to work. Um, Most of them will not ask you to do any housekeeping stuff, other than just cleaning up after the kids a little bit. And they're not expecting you to be the housekeeper, or the house manager, some will call it. But no, your job is specifically to take care of the kids if you're going there as an au pair or as a living nanny. All right. Uh, Again, you want to find out room, and how, if they are going to provide you with a place to sleep, a place to stay. Uh, Minimum wage for the most part, depending on where you're going, could be $10, 15, $20 an hour. Depending if they give you a place to stay. If they give you a place to stay, then you obviously expect a little bit less. But minimum wage for most countries is set. Most countries would, minimum wage is $10, but again, find out depending on what country you're going to. Um, and you can see if that's feasible for you. If that's something you're willing to accept, you can always negotiate that. Lastly, you want to find out, will the host family provide you with medical? Because if you're going to another country, then you want to know, um, am I gonna get a medical coverage, medical insurance, in case something happens? We're human. Sometimes you get sick. And if you get sick, then you want to know, am I going to have to pay that out of pocket, or will the host family get me medical insurance? And then again, like I said, that's always negotiable if they pay that for you. But most European countries, most Western countries, not West Africa, I'm sorry, most Western countries, European countries, will require that the host family have medical insurance for their au pair, because you're an employee, so the employee is expected to have medical insurance, and that is provided by the host family for the most part. Now, depending on where you're going, the host family might say, no, we don't do that. You have to do that on your own. So you just have to know what you're willing to take, okay? And how desperate you are for the job. And lastly, don't forget, the most important part of your job is to have fun with the kids. If you can't have fun with the kids, then this is not a job for you. If you feel like kids are too much for you and you can't handle kids running around, screaming, playing, and jumping around and literally having fun with them, then this is not a job for you. You really have to enjoy. I enjoyed it, and if you enjoy your job, then you're gonna be happy, and the family will be happy, and the kids will be happy. Have fun, fun. Okay, well, that's all I had for today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, I am here for you to answer them. I was a living nanny for 2.5 years and I loved every single part of it. And so if you have any questions, please ask your questions. I am more than willing to answer every single question. All right, thank you so much. God bless, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the like button. All right. Thank you. God bless. Bye now.